music. Yancy Riley is a guest on our show today. My fellow Louisianian and my friend Kelly Lang will be on. She has got some big news and a big debut to talk about this Friday. But first, I want to talk about our month, Oh Love. It starts February 1st, and we're going to be telling love stories of all sorts of people in the mid-state, how people met, how people decided to get married. We're going to have a virtual bridal guide. Well, that has nothing to do with horses. It's actually for brides and wedding guide. We're going to be talking with wedding venues and florists and people really who help you with your wedding, because a lot of venues have been closed. Well, we'll tell you a little bit more about it right now. February is the month many brides are attending bridal shows to find everything from dresses to dining options to venues to flowers. It's the month love is celebrated by couples, from Valentine's Day presents to celebrating anniversaries. Since many bridal shows are unable to go full throttle just yet, and many Valentine's Day evenings are different than in the past, Main Street Media is finding new ways to celebrate love in the month Oh Love. We'll have affordable ways for everyone to participate, like uploading a personal declaration of love for a special someone, wedding show stories about venues, products, and anything for wedding plans coming up later this year. The love stories of couples, interviews, ideas for celebrating and Valentine gift giving, and even a best love song contest for Middle Tennessee's best songwriters, romantic getaways, performance opportunities, and a great audience. Our daily love story programs will be broadcast via Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and our podcast network, with over 100,000 loyal viewers already in our family. Main Street Media wants to invite you to be a part of our month Oh Love. Just reply to the sales representative that sent you this link, or contact our new media sales manager, Chris Kulik, at ckulik@mainstreetmediatn.com. There are all sorts of ways to sponsor, be a part of, and get your message of love out during the month Oh Love at Main Street Media. People have already been asking me about the song contest, and it's not a song contest like you might think. This is one where we have engagement with our viewers, and we introduce you to our audience. And the 28 days in February, we will be every day on our channels of Main Street channels. We're going to be doing an original video. Now that, if you submit a video to us, it doesn't have to be a fancy produced one, or it can be. It can be a lyric video. It can be you sitting in your living room with a phone. Whatever you want to share with America. At the end of the month, we're going to give an additional 28 days to hear your song and to garner votes. And the show with the most will have 5 that go to the finals. And we've got a special anonymous, at this point, we're not going to tell you who they are. We've got some anonymous judges. There are 5 of them who will judge the 5 finalists. And that person will go on. And there's we're a media company. So we'll do a radio special for you that you can have to use at the end of it. We'll put a bio kit together, and we'll also call 12 of our Main Street newspapers, so everyone in the Mid-State knows who you are. Plus, we've also linked with Ride an Hour Rehearsal Studios in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, and they have contributed a live streaming concert. And if you've never seen what they do, oh my goodness. So that's just a little bit. All you have to do is message me, and I'll tell you all about it. Well, before we get into that, I want to talk about your walk around your house. We had some bad rain in Middle Tennessee, and if you've got gutters, and there's a problem past weather, let's talk to Big J at Monster Home Services. We join Big J, Jason Siebert of Monster Home Services in Joelton, Tennessee.
This product, which I found in Loomis, California, back in 2016, this product I couldn't clog. So we're going to talk about some of the older concepts and things like that, about how water works coming off the roof into the gutter and how debris gets into your gutters. And then I'm going to show you the solution that we use. And I'm going to show you a couple different products that I've removed off of homes. I'm not going to name them. I'm not that kind of guy. But I think you might recognize some of the stuff. And
have you been visiting my house? One of them looks a little bit like mine.
That's right. So what I want to do is I just want to show you a couple things here. A lot of people talk about surface tension systems. Surface tension systems are kind of systems where the water's supposed to come down and the water's supposed to go in and the leaves are supposed to fall across the front of it. And we see the commercials and stuff, and a lot of them, they add to your gutters. This is kind of a topper or some type of helmet or, some kind of thing to where surface tension is supposed to come down and push that water into your gutters, and the debris is just going to fall off the front. But what we found, and a lot of customers have found, and this is just some stuff that I've removed. Here's one here that I removed the other day in Clarksville. This is one of the topper type systems here. Can you see that?
Yeah.
And so this one had actually fallen off of the house
Oh my God.
because it was so full of stuff. We finally got the stuff out of it. But this is what it looked like after a couple of years. The algae, the growth, and what was happening is this stuff here was basically, you see it's hard on there now, I couldn't get it off. This stuff here, I can't pull that off. I guess they put a tar up against it or something. But anyway, the debris would just go to the inside of it. I have several pictures on our Facebook page of actually removing this, but this basically just fell completely off of the house. It was laying on the ground when I got there in the back, and it was barely hanging on in the front. And we ended up with a lot of fascia damage on that house and water getting behind it because of the screws that were put into it.
Right.
And it was just a lot of problems with it. Now, those problems could have been existing before they did it, but afterwards, either they put it up incorrectly on rotten fascia or water was getting behind it. I got there after the fact. But when you think about these things, they look really good on TV, but over the years, the moss and the stuff, and like this one here had a bad runover spot in a valley that came down the roof. And so what they did to fix that is they went to Home Depot or somewhere and they grabbed a piece of this stuff and they cut their top open and put this on it, which is the whole thing we try to get away from because it catches pine needles and everything else and other debris and twigs and things. So it really wasn't a permanent, it was kind of a Band-Aid on a bullet hole. And with this, if a leaf or something falls on it, as you can see here, it's got these raised profiles on it, which are patented, and they're very unique, very unique. But what happens is nothing can stick to it flat. So when the water comes off the roof, it can continue to move it off of the roof and away from the home. Now, that is a patented product. Nobody else has got it. And actually, we're the only company in Middle Tennessee you can actually get this from. Another great thing about this product is the way that it's mounted on the home. We have several different mounting options on it. This happens to be one of my favorite. It's called the Bentling product. And so what this does is when we come out to your house typically and look at your gutters, if you decide to put a product on your home, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to clean your gutters out. And then we're going to reslope them. And then in the corners and everywhere that you've got on your existing home, we're actually going to reseal them. So that the water doesn't drip out of the end of the gutters. So a lot of times we can go out to home and save the gutters just by cleaning them and putting some additional brackets in where needed and things like that. Where this thing really shines through is the way it's mounted to your home. Now we have several of them that mount that can go slightly under the shingle, but it doesn't void the warranty on the roof no matter what people say. We don't go past what's called the starter strip of the roof. But we actually mount this down in the front onto the lip of the gutter so it can't come up or fly up. And then we actually mount it to the fascia. And that is a big deal because your bracket up underneath this basically is setting right against the roof and where the screw is. But back here where the screw comes into the bracket on your gutters, the water can't get to it. So water can't get behind your siding fascia or into your wood behind it. So it keeps the water going down and it keeps it going in the gutter. But by mounting it like that, after we reslope your gutters, the great thing about this is, and another feature real quick with it, you've got these splash guards, and no matter what type of gutter you put on your home, there's always a splash guard there, and it always catches the leaves.
Wow.
And so what we do is we actually have a specialized corner that actually goes into the corner. We have it in several colors. But it goes into the corner, and as the water comes rushing down that corner, these ridges, these raised profiles here, actually take the water and disperse them left and right. We do away with that old guard that was sitting up there.
Yes.
And then the debris falls off. So there's no cleaning in that area either. if you put these on your home, you'll never clean your gutters again. You clean out your gutters again. And even this system itself won't clog. A lot of companies will tell you that, hey, if your gutters ever clog, we'll clean them. Well, when you cover them all the way up and something's spilling over them or it's, something like that, the gutters will never clog. But will the system never clog? Ask them that.
A family-owned company right here in Middle Tennessee, and doing it. How long have you been working with home improvement?
Oh, me and my partner, I have a silent partner with me, or my best friend of 30 years is what I call him. We've both been in the home improvement business for a combined 60 years.
Monster Home Services with Gutters by Valor. Find out more today and tell them Main Street sent you. We love shining the light on companies in Middle Tennessee, locally owned. So all you do is a quick Google Monster Home Services in Joelton, Tennessee. I tell you, after meeting Jameson, I was really blown away. I walked around my house and I looked at the downspouts and I looked around the foundation of my home, and I had some issues. So there you go. If you don't know about your house, do a walk around during all the seasons after you have a weather event. And we've got another one coming. We've always got another weather event coming up in Middle Tennessee. We also have a lot of issues with our health insurance every day. I was in a situation where I had a choice to go on what they call COBRA or getting my own independent insurance. And I didn't know. I mean, I learned I don't speak insurance, and I was going to take just whatever I had. Then I also had my old company plan. So I wanted to find out what I had to deal with. So I called my friend Harvey. He gave me an appointment virtually. He said, okay, now I'm going to share my screen with yours. Here's what your plan covers. Here's what it didn't cover. And I was shocked at what it didn't cover. And I love the plan he found for me. Not only did my plan, was it affordable and less than what I was spending, but the coverage was so much better. And I wasn't even paying. I don't even have the copay when I go in. If I need to go to the doctor, and if they negotiate a lower price for me, for my appointment, they send in, but the consultation is free. Maybe he can help you. I don't know. Take a listen. If you find yourself in need of health insurance, one Google search and a questionnaire could start your phone ringing and those emails and those texts coming from companies all over. And it can be really confusing. And sometimes you get caught up in buying something only to find that it covers very little of what you actually need. And sometimes it can be too late to do anything about it. After the fact, like when you need your insurance. That's why one click to my friend, my insurance guy, Health Insurance Harvey, can keep that from happening. HarveyDurham.com. Chat with him, set up a virtual appointment anywhere in the country practically. He's licensed in 40 states. He'll look at your needs, your budget, and share every single thing that his insurance is going to cover and what it won't. You don't pay for what you don't need. If he can't save you money or can't give you better coverage, he won't sign you. You are under no obligation. So do yourself a favor. Get a free comparison quote from Health Insurance Harvey. It just might work for you like it did me. I'm not his commercial announcer. I'm his client at HarveyDurham.com. A big thank you to some folks who are watching today. I want to do a shout out to some friends, Suzanne and Mark Thomas. They're watching in Alabama. And so a big shout out to them. Hello, and I love you too. And my buddy, Pete Trabucco, who has been a guest on our podcast before. Before we went video, we were audio only. Just a little reminder, we are available on audio podcast. We are on YouTube, our Main Street Today channel. We invite you to subscribe. All the best and have a great day. Thank you, Pete. Pete has a great book. He went on rides and amusement parks all over the country and really did a review and kind of tells you what your best buys were, the safest, and he is just fabulous. He's a great vacation guru. And if you want to follow him, do a quick follow on Pete Trabucco. I like him. Anyway, we're going to move on to another guest who's standing by because we are all about music in Middle Tennessee. My friend and Yancy Riley have horses and the love of them in common. But as most people know, that when you get involved in raising a family, sometimes some of your hobbies and some of your loves change, and they have to. And the one thing that has always been a love of Yancy is his music, and that has never changed. A lot of people are watching right now who have a dream about music, and some of them have given it up. But I want to encourage you that even if it takes a while, keep dreaming and keep forever. It's new to whoever finds it the next day. And so we're going to help everybody find some music from Yancy Riley. How are you, Yancy?
Hey, Devin, how are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Fantastic.
Great.
Tell everybody where you're from and how you ended up in Middle Tennessee.
Well, I am originally from Abita Springs, Louisiana. It's about 45 minutes north of New Orleans, right above Lake Pontchartrain. And I moved here in 1993, and I love Middle Tennessee. It's home. Louisiana, of course, will always be home, but it's a really good place to raise your kids and be able to grow. And so I moved up here for music back in 93 and had some successes and just kept, like the first song on the album, Keep On Moving, just keep on moving. So that's, yeah. Back home, Louisiana. You know about that.
I do know about that. And I actually went home to Abita Springs to watch you in a show. It was so much fun. And a lot of people recognize the name Abita from the brand of beer.
Right.
You know, is that an Abita Springs product?
That is. And their root beer is awesome, by the way.
Oh, that's very cool.
Yeah.
That's very cool. Well, I want to play a little bit. I've got a video, but before we do that, I want to talk about how long it took this album to come to fruition.
Well, you know, you have something in your mind and your heart, and you kind of, you know, be it what it is, having children and finances and just getting things done, wanting to get it done the way you want to, and that kind of holds you back sometimes. So I was looking through some things once this project got started, and I found a Word document on an old thumb drive I had. And I was looking through the thumb drive, seeing what was on it, and I found a document that said Expectations. Of course, that's the name of the album. And the actual file was from 2009. So this has been a plan and a dream and a love of mine since 2009. So the actual recording time took about 4 years, but it was a blast. We had a great time, some great musicians on it, and hopefully people enjoy it.
So from 2009, the beginning of the dream, and this past week you just had the unveiling, right? Was it? Oh, wow.
Yeah, it dropped on the 22nd. Dropped on the 22nd.
Well, we're going to share a video of you singing in your studio, and this is just one of the songs. It's called Eternity, and we're going into our month of love, and I love it. While to come to fruition. Well, it's worth the wait.
Count the minutes, asking why I'm here. I'm chasing empty questions, stuck in the unclear. The search is never ending when I love to satisfy this need that wells up in me with what these days provide. Eternity. it's a part of me. So help me live this life, learning how to see eternity. This world is ever changing, and my mind's sometimes confused. I want to find my meaning in what matters most to you, 'cause the sum of all these moments I gather here and now won't add up to the purpose I was born to be about. Eternity. It's hard for me to understand, and even harder to believe that it's a part of me. So help me live this life, learning how to see eternity. It's hard for me to understand, and even harder to believe that it's a part of me. So help me live this life, learning how to see eternity. Eternity.
See, and the album is now out. I'm so
Yeah.
excited
Yeah, we are too. We just had the
to
album.
be
release.
able to share this out of you, doesn't it?
What's that?
That Louisiana soul just comes out of you.
Yeah, I hope so. I hope so. There's a lot of that back home. There's a lot of good people, a lot of people that pour into your life and that give you that drive to keep doing it. So hopefully that shows up.
Well, tell people now, recording in the past year has not been typical, and recording has been changing throughout the years. You were able to do it and have your musicians, just like in that video, in different places,
Yes.
and yet it came together and it melds together. And it's amazing how that happens. Tell us how your process was.
Yeah, Randy Smith, who was playing bass on that video, he actually played all the bass parts for the whole album. Great friend of mine, and we were apart for a little while. He played for me for years, and then we kind of just time and distance a little bit, and then so when I started this project, of course, I was going to call him first, and come to find out, he lives not even a minute and a half down the road from me. So yeah, when COVID hit, we thought we'd do couple of things like that, but yeah, recording is a lot easier. There's some benefits to the old way, of course, being able to be in the same room and feed off of each other, but some of the players I used, they kind of set the tone, and everybody else just kind of fell into place and found their spot. It was a blast.
So good, so good. Well, people, here's one more funny story I want to talk about very quickly. Weird things can happen. And this album came out in 2020. I mean, it was processed in 2020. So here's the deal: when the CDs arrived and you listened through all the way on those physical CDs, what happened at the very end?
Well, and this is a story I told at the release show that we had this past Saturday night at the Mockingbird Theater in Franklin. I wasn't gonna say it and talk about it, but it makes it real. And it's a lot of people say, well, that's my life. So like we mentioned before earlier, 2009 was when this started coming together, and I wanted to do an album called Expectations. I had a few songs listed out, so forth, and then we start the recording. The recording process takes a little bit longer than we'd like, about 4 years. And so, we're all physical. We got the digital world, our digital downloads, we got Spotify, we got Apple Music. So we have all those things, and it's on all that. But for me too, and for most people, it's, oh, this is physical. This is real. I did it. It's done. So when I got the CDs in, I was getting the CDs in for the album release party, the show. And I was hoping they would be in time. They came in a few days earlier. So I was pumped. I saw the CD and I'm looking at it and it looked like I wanted it to look. And I'm like, oh, I can't believe this is all coming together. And then so I'm like, I'm going to listen because, you want to hear it, make sure, okay, is it going to sound like I want it to sound? So I went in my son's truck and put it in the CD player, and I'm listening, and I'm like, oh, yeah. So song 1, 2, 3, 4, everything sounded great. So I'm pumped. And if you know me, I'm not a crybaby. Wrong answer. So I am. I tear up all the time. I almost teared up a couple times already, but I'm making it, Devin. I'm making it. So I tear up a little bit, and I'm excited. And so I'm getting to the last song. And to me, the last song is like, it is the culmination of the album. I didn't write the last song. It was a song I found through some friends. And AJ Masters, you remember AJ Masters? He actually, He was one of the writers. He's the one that played it to me. I was sitting at a friend's house, Scott Morse. We were talking about management opportunities. And this was several years ago. And he brought AJ over. He wanted to play some songs for me. And AJ played this song for me. And I'm like, if I ever get to do a full album or get to make some more tracks, I'm doing that song. And so it's called In All My Humanity. And it's just piano and vocal. I didn't know how I wanted to do it. And a friend of mine, Rob Howard, who actually cut it in Colorado, he played the piano. And I'm like, okay, yeah, that's it. So I did the vocals on it. And so, again, going back to the story, I've got the physical CD. It's in the CD player. I'm listening to it. I can't believe it's all coming together. And I'm just ecstatic and kind of sitting back in a moment. And so the last few words is I'm a river made of dust. I'm a river made of dust. I'm a bridge. I wish I could trust. And I'm like, what? Maybe it's the CD player. So I rewind. And I'm like, okay.
Oh, no. The whole package.
My mother-in-law was actually in the truck with me because she hadn't heard the finished part of that song. And she's like, he's going to go crazy. I'm running out of the truck, going upstairs, screaming, ah! So I cut on the computer, get up my studio software, the mastering software. And, most producers, they either like 3 seconds, 4 seconds, 5 seconds, depends on the album. So I was real methodical about having about 4 seconds in between each song. Well, there's no song after In All My Humanity. And for some reason, I didn't pay attention to the end of the album. So,
and it cut out.
So yeah, it was a pricely mistake, but it makes a great story.
It does. And everybody, that no matter what your expectations are, you roll with it when it comes back.
Roll with it.
And the finished product is back, and it's been repressed, and it's all good. And where can they find your music?
You can go to YancyRiley.com. You can get the physical CD. You can also download from there as well. And then you can also, it's on all the platforms, Spotify, Apple, Amazon, and so forth. Cool thing is, Devin's showing that picture right now. That's the acoustic sessions. So that is actually the same exact album as Expectations, the album, but it's the acoustic version of all the songs. And
so you have two. Oh my gosh.
Dude, that's coming out in March. And so it's just kind of bare bones, acoustic, piano, Randy playing upright bass. We'll have some dobro on it for some of the songs. And I mean, it's really the musicianship on it. They did such a nice job. And it of course gives it a different feel. So yeah, March 19th, I'm hoping that one drops. And again, it's the same exact album as Expectations, the album, just with an acoustic feel. So it'll be
fantastic
doing that one too.
Well, thank you so much for your time today. YancyRiley.com. Get everything. He's so good, and we love you. Please come back and visit us again.
Oh, I appreciate your time, Devin. Thank you for having me. You know I love you. So,
I love you too. All right. I'll talk to you soon.
all right.
Okay.
Thank you for having me.
Bye-bye. You know, I love sharing music with everybody here, and we got somebody who actually, awesome song, listening and watching from Indiana. So Chrissy, we are so glad that you're part of our show today. That's the kind of thing we love to do around here. Well, we also like to introduce you to some other friends with some other great music. And everybody knows, if they follow me around and follow me on socials, they know that Kelly Lang is one of my favorite people ever in the whole world. And she and T.G. Shepherd are dear to me. And we're going to welcome her right now because she's got a big old announcement.
Hi.
Hey, girlfriend.
I'm on there for you.
I'm so glad you're there. If you've been watching the web, you know that Kelly has got a show called Kicking It with Kelly that she airs via the interwebs. And just like me, that's what we do.
That's right. What else are we going to do, right?
I know. I mean, how long has it been since you've left your house? I mean, haven't we all been like living? I'm glad I like home.
Well, I mean, I have to get out. You know, I've got to do everyday kind of stuff, but I'm really careful. I always mask up. And I mean, Charlotte Sneed, our friend, always tells me that I need to have bubble wrap around me. She even brought me some, you know, but no, we have actually been enjoying staying home, and because we really never really had that opportunity to do that much before. A little bit is a long way though. I mean, it's like, come on, we're ready to get out. And actually TG and I are doing a show this weekend in Weirsdale, Florida, on Saturday. It's the first show we'll have done since last March 13th in Texas. So it's scary in a way, but you know, they put precautions in, safety precautions in for everybody, and fingers crossed all will go well. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. I just, I love being on the farm. I love it. And, you know, come spring, if everybody starts traveling again, you got to come meet my pig.
I want to meet Stevie.
Oh, yeah. The blind steer. Yes. He's adorable.
By the way, I put my name as Dragonfly. I didn't know.
He's absolutely the love of your life. The love of your life, TG. The two of you sound so great together. And I've got a clip of you guys on another friend of our show, Mike Huckabee's show, which is fantastic.
Thank you.
Mike has got the best band.
He does.
I've ever heard. And if you look and you'll see him playing bass. That's what's so crazy.
He is such a nice guy. You know, he had us over for dinner at his home in Destin, well, near Destin, Florida. And he pulled pork for us and actually pulled it apart, and we ate there on his balcony and stuff. He's just such a real person, just such a kind man, and very talented. Great bass player too.
He is. We've got one little clip of you and TG I want to set up, because how lucky and how blessed is it that you love each other and you sound so good together. I just love y'all. Look at you. I mean, y'all are so cute. Your interactions are just so precious. And I love your duet projects together. But this year, 2020, has been, maybe some people will want to write it off as a terrible year, but I am not ready to do that. And it's been a very special year for you and your music.
Thank you. I have been really doing a lot of internal work, inward things that I have control over, which I've learned a lot on the computer. I've learned a lot of video skills and things like that that I normally would not even attempt. So it's been educational and enlightening year for me. And I was able to do things I never was able to do before. I was thrilled to be invited to sing the national anthem at the Titans game this year. Like, who does that? You know?
Oh, yes. You just got to wait, because this girl, you brought it. You.
Oh, say can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallant streaming, and the Rockies red glare, the bombs bursting in, gave proof in the night that our flag was still there. Oh, Satan's that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free, the brave, the brave.
That just made me cry. It was so beautiful.
Thank you, Devin. I went to our friend Buddy Hyatt's and was able to do a nice track under. I would be scared to death to do it, just a cappella. So I'm really grateful for him. But Ascension Hospitals are the hospitals for the Titans, and they called and asked that I be part of that because of a song that I have in one of their campaigns going on now. So it was a thrill. Oh my goodness.
Well, it was also a bigger tie-in than that, because it was also Breast Cancer Awareness Month in October, and they asked you to do it earlier. Then COVID happened, and they pulled that. And then before October finished, you got to walk out
It was the scariest thing I've ever done.
and
Have you
sing
ever done
as
that
the
before,
national
Devin?
anthem.
Have you ever done that before?
No, that is so hard.
It's terrifying, and to think that I was kind of glad that it didn't show nationally. It was more on a regional basis, but wow, it's a bucket list thing for me, and just what an honor. My goodness, it's crazy. But I did the Nashville the Titans thing, and then I put an album out, actually 2 albums, the Lullaby project that you promoted before, and then Old Soul. I recorded that the year before, but we decided, one of the reasons we decided to put Old Soul out was because so many people were just like craving something that made them feel safe. And the songs on that album were all songs from eras in our lives that we remember and felt safe with and all. And, just recognizable songs that we just all can kind of go, oh, I remember when I was in school, or, so that was that. And then the Ascension Hospitals came along and decided to use the song I'm Not Going Anywhere as their national campaign. It started out in Nashville. And so now Devin, I've had so many kind people send me beautiful emails and Facebook messages about how the song has really resonated in their lives. And several people are using it for either their wedding or their funerals, or even on a more current note, when people are in the hospital with COVID, they're needing comfort and feeling like they're able to be not alone. And I think this song is really, thank God, I believe God wrote this, and encouragement to any songwriters out there. This song was written 16 years ago, and I didn't think it would see the light of day. Really, it had a couple of fun things when I first wrote it, but if you wait long enough, who knows what your future is going to be. So I encourage other writers to stick with it.
As it turns out, that's kind of the theme of this show, is don't let go of the dream. And we're going to play that commercial right now and just see how that song works with the graphics. I don't know if you remember, but when you handed me the copy of your new album,
Which album?
Gosh, this song just kills me.
Oh, thanks.
Oh my gosh, I'm not going anywhere. It just slayed me from the minute I heard it. It came from a very real place. But take a look at it with the graphics from Ascension Hospital.
Take my hand, don't let go. Look in my eyes and in my soul. Hold me close, hold me near. Please let go of all your fear. I'm not going anywhere. I'd give my heart to you if yours stopped beating. Part your lips with mine. If you weren't breathing, you have no burden that I wouldn't bear. I'm not going anywhere.
Woo!
My name's
Man.
really tiny at the very end of it.
Well, people are responding like crazy. Pat and Bill, I want to say Kepi or Keepy. Anyway, the national anthem is just wonderful. They were responding, and Linda Stiles Cruiser also remarking what a powerful song that this is. And we thank you guys for commenting and sharing and clicking subscribe to where you're watching this broadcast. We aired again at 6:30. Kelly wants to announce where everybody can watch the debut of the new full video of that song. So that's yours.
Yes. So there's a music video that's going to come out that is a separate thing from the hospital commercial. And that will be airing this Thursday, which is tomorrow, on Newsmax on the American Agenda. And it's 1:15 Central, of course, 2:15 Eastern. So they're going to be debuting the whole music video. And there's some really special things in there. I added some photos of me with my daughters when they were very young, and me with a photo of my mother. And I believe it will touch a lot of hearts in so many different aspects. There's scenes of us taking care of elderly, or scenes of us taking care of babies. And it's been a universal thing for so many people, I'm thinking. And then another thing I'm really excited about, I have never been in People magazine, and I've done an interview with them, and it's showing up on Friday, the day that we release I'm Not Going Anywhere as a single. And it was on an album years ago, an 11:11 album. But we've gone in and re-recorded it, and our single comes out this Friday. I think you have the graphic there. I think
I do. Here's what it looks like. Okay. And you can find this on all platforms. Can you pre-save it right now?
Yes, you can pre-save it. It's actually on my website. It's going to be for sale physical, and it's got three things on that, Devin. It's got the original version, the piano kind of version from the commercial, but we have done an orchestrated version of that as well, with drums, guitars, and all the strings and all. And then the third item on that is, it's called the deluxe edition. The third item is the story behind the song and how I wrote that and the meaning behind that. And I hope people will enjoy that. We're really excited to have them up on the website. And another thing that I've had some requests for, I'm going to be doing handwritten lyrics of the song. And then that'll be available on the website with a free version of the deluxe I'm Not Going Anywhere CD. So that'll be fun. That comes up next week.
Well, I'm anxious for the Kelly Lang original art prints to start showing up along with these lyrics, because what you guys may not know is that Kelly is a beautiful, fine artist, painter as well, and has been doing some really beautiful work for years and years and years. I'm going to relate a story. I had watched Kelly. I had seen Kelly, but I had never met Kelly. And I met Kelly on a weekend retreat with Loretta, Ludilla, and Kay, the fan club sisters. That it was just a beautiful weekend of empowerment for ladies. And it was the weekend before you were diagnosed with member. And it was like, I met you and I said, oh, this amazing soul. And then you were diagnosed. And then you fought the battle. And then you went into remission. And I watch every time you post when you and TG are going in for your checkup, and you go, still, so prayers over that, because you are victorious. You are a survivor.
Thank you. I don't feel like I'm a particularly brave person. I think you are handed cards and you just deal with what you're handed. And I really took to heart when my doctor told me, when you walk into the doctor's office, he can tell who will be a survivor by their attitude. And that really struck me as something I need to take real notes in, because I had two young girls. They were 9 and a 13-year-old young girls. I was single. Although I was dating TG, we were not engaged or not married. And I didn't honestly think I was going to survive it. And I felt that because we hadn't really committed before that, now was his time to go, So I was thinking that was gonna happen. And of course, a lot of men, you and I've talked about this before, a lot of men freak out on things like that. Partners freak out on things like that. And I just think it speaks volumes of him as a human being to stay with me. I was, bald and green and not great options really. And it made us stronger and made us, people say we're inspiration. We certainly aren't implying to trying to do that. But if that's what that ends up being, it's really a blessing for us too.
Well, if anybody wants an inspiration for a love story, it's the two of you. And I'm so grateful to know you as friends. We're going to close with a clip of you singing on the Huckabee Show, which is a fabulous show that tapes on Fridays and it airs on Saturdays. And anybody who wants to find out about it, just do a quick, Mike Huckabee Show. And it's always just a great show. And you can get involved and go to the tapings here. They're very, very safe and masked up in the audience.
Yeah, unfortunately, that is that way for a while. But what a wonderful way to spend the evening. It's all family-oriented programming, and TG and I just love performing. As a matter of fact, TG is going to be on there February the 3rd, but it's going to be showing the 6th, I believe. So it's some things from his new album. I'm excited about that.
I know. I cannot wait for that. I'm going to have to get him to come and do this show as well.
Okay.
Thank you for your time today.
I love you, Devin. Thank you for having me.
I love you too.
I'm so in love with you. Whatever you want to do is all right with me. 'Cause you we've been together. Oh, loving you forever is what I need. Let me be the one you come running to. 'Cause I've never been untrue. Hey baby, let's stay together. Loving you whether times are good or bad, happy or sad. Ooh, yeah. Whether times are good or bad, happy or sad. Why, somebody tell me, why do people break up? Oh, turn around and make up. I just can't see. 'Cause you never do that to me. Would you, baby? Staying around you is all I see. Hey, baby, let's stay together. Loving you whether times are good or bad, happy or sad. Let's stay together. Loving you whether times are good or bad, happy or sad. Good or bad, happy or sad. Let's stay together. Thank you.
And do subscribe to Huckabee. We've got Yancy Riley and Kelly Lang. Everybody, we're going to wave goodbye with the way that we end this show. And that is to say, remember, be safe, be kind, and remember most of all that you are loved. Bye, everybody.